that one did hurt, goodness, didn't it? We're always so close, yet so far. But I feel as though we have just been lied to be honest. From the board, from at times Mikel Arteta, and I'm one of the biggest Arteta in people ever. And it gets tiring. It really, really does. But, you know, straight away, Gunners, let me know your thoughts on the game against PSG, getting knocked out of the Champions League. And be as rational as you can. Don't be too emotional in your assessment. We've had time, I guess, to cool down. This video is coming out early in the morning. So let me know, you know, if you agree with what I'm saying. But if you don't, I mean, how can you come out of a game against PSG with a 5.11 XG to 3.08? And I know a lot of you will say XG is nonsense, it's rubbish. But let me break it down. In terms of quality chances over the two legs, Arsenal should have had 5 goals, PSG only 3 goals. And let's just say penalties accumulate for 1 XG, so 2.08 really for PSG. It just goes to show killing in both boxes is absolutely pivotal. It is pivotal. And it is a crime that we have not addressed this issue. It's been an issue for 4 years. In 2022, David Ornstein said Arsenal were trying to sign Dusan Vlahovic, they wanted Isak, they wanted Aubameyang. How can I, 3 years later, 3 seasons later, still be asking for my board to get me a striker? If Arsenal had a centre forward, if you would disagree with me, fine if you don't, but if Arsenal had a centre forward, I guarantee we'd be on the plane to Munich. You're looking at our squad right now. Saliba's contract expires in 2 seasons' time. Next season, Saliba will have 1 year left on his deal. And knowing how Real Madrid operate, they'll be tapping him up. Saliba will want to win. I don't blame him. Saka, the amount of chances he creates, the amount of balls he puts into the box that nobody is on the end of is an absolute crime. And I know we've signed Gabriel Jesus, but again, he was never the out-and-out 9. Even when we did sign Jesus, the reports would always be Arsenal want another striker with him. Since 2022, when Isak was still at Sociedad, Vlahovic was still at Fiorentina, Aubameyang was still at the club, we have not replaced or signed a striker. This was last season, where we all came out of the season being like, Arsenal have to sign an attacker. Mikel Arteta himself said, Arsenal need more firepower. The reports coming out was, Arsenal need more firepower. The board recognise it. Arteta recognises it. The players themselves recognise it. So how can you go with the most important aspect in football, putting the ball in the back of the net, and you don't address it? We were 2 points off of the Premier League title. 2 points. We were one more victory, turning one defeat into a victory away from winning a Premier League title. And we knew the problem was the left wing and the centre forward position. We went into the summer window and we've only brought in Mikel Merino, who has been brilliant in the centre forward role. I can't fault him at all. But he isn't a 9. And he missed the start of the season, by the way. It was like 2 months or a month out. And Riccardo Calafiori, who is a left back / centre half. It is a criminal offence to do that to Mikel Arteta, to do that to us fans, to go into a Premier League season where we obviously needed firepower without addressing the fact that we should get firepower. It was meant to be a priority. David Ornstein, one of the best sources in the game, without a shadow of a doubt, in 2024, in March, said Arsenal's transfer priority in the summer is a striker. We have not brought in that striker. We have not brought in that left winger. We have not brought in that X factor. And it is an absolute crime. And I'm looking at the people. Edu Gaspar, respect to you, man. Respect to what you've done in terms of the small transfers to get us back, the Gabriel signings, the little contracts you did for the players. But ultimately, you contributed to that horrendous summer as much as the Kroenkes and Tim Lewis. They are the guys that sanction every single decision. Arteta can only do so much before board get involved. And ultimately, Arsenal fans, it hurts because we know what we need. Everyone knew what we needed at the end of the last season. When we got knocked out by Bayern Munich, what was the one thing Arsenal didn't have? We had all the ball possession, but not anybody who could put the ball in the back of the net. And that's the reality. And we haven't addressed it. How? I don't know. Why? I don't know. But simply, we've been lied to that we were going to address these issues and we're going to sort it out. It will be a crime if this group of players come away from their Arsenal careers without at least a Champions League and 2 Premier Leagues to their names. 2 for every one of them. It would be a crime. It would be a crime to allow Saliba, to allow Saka to leave this club without major silverware to their name. And I thought against PSG, our best attacker was obviously Saka, as he always is. Yes, you can say he had a poor game, but he generated chances. He generated balls into the box. He scored the goal, made that mistake happen. Yes, he missed a tap-in, but how many times has Saka stepped up to the plate? And no one else has in the attacking third. Too many times. Martin Odegaard is a different discussion. I've said what I've said about him. You guys have your opinion. But it's just, how can you be a midfielder who's better out of possession than in possession? You know, he's going to be perfect for certain game states. But the game states like these, in those big away games where you need a penetrative passer, somebody who has some final ball quality, he is just not your guy. He's not that player. But we can't expect him to be that player. We can't be angry with him because he's simply just not built in a way to be a final ball specialist. Thomas Partey, a lot of talk about him. I thought he was all right. But again, simply him and Kiwior, 2 mistakes, PSG score. People are attacking Miles Lewis-Skelly. Wasn't meant to play as many minutes as he has this season, but he was brilliant. The cojones. You know, if those things worked for him, all the things he tried in another game, that works for him. So why attack him in the one game where it doesn't? It just simply doesn't make sense to me. We have short memories, but we must direct our frustration to a different way, but more so to the fact that we haven't been sort of, you know, we haven't been truthfully given an assessment of why things haven't happened. Why did we go into the January window without signing anyone? Why did Mikel Arteta come out and say, trust me, I love my players. I think positive, it's the best way. It's the best way. Tomorrow we're going to score goals and be top. They're going to be top. So that's him on not signing anyone in January. It was a collective decision. So we can collectively be angry at all of those decision makers that we didn't sign anyone with the injury problems we had in the attacking third. And I mean, I look at that table and we better wrap up this Champions League football as quick as possible because it's got to be a second place. Have some pride and finish in second place. But anyway, that's it for now, Gunners. Let me know all your thoughts. Be fair, be constructive. But until next time, peace.